Hi, and good evening, and welcome to another episode of Walking in Her Shoes with LizzyDoll and KizziDoll. KizziDoll, how are you today?
Oh, I'm a little tussled to and fro, but I'm here and I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I was gonna say TGI, not TGIF, but TGI. Thank you Thursday. But I'm just gonna leave it right there on the table because I'm telling you, it's been such an amazing, exciting week. But I'm telling you, I'm a bit tuckered out today. If that's a
Oh,
way to be right now.
a little tuckered out, but that's all right because at the end of your tucker, honey, it's gonna be a whole lot of success.
Oh my
So you go
Lanta.
ahead and you pay your dues right now with being tuckered, because
Yes.
later on you're gonna be able to kick back, put your hands behind your head, relax and go, wow, look at this long journey I've been through. While
Oh my
everybody else
goodness.
is still hustling and bustling
Mm,
and
mm,
ain't
mm.
got no reason to be tuckered out. They can't afford that. You go ahead, pay your dues now because it's coming. Watch.
Oh, my Lanta, you know what? And I totally receive that. I believe it. I receive it, and I tuck it right here in my chest,
It's coming.
in my heart. That's why I have this "Let's Celebrate" behind me because we've been celebrating all week some achievements.
Okay.
So got "Let's Celebrate" behind me because
All
that's what
right.
we're doing, and that's
Okay.
another
Whoop,
reason why
whoop,
we're a little bit tired. We're coming to
whoop,
like
whoop.
we have some milestones that we have achieved, and now we're almost on the other side of all of that. And man, it's been a journey.
Oh,
But before we really get
congratulations
started,
to
thank
you.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Before we really get started today, we want to always remind you to like, share, and subscribe. Stay to the end and you will be blessed. We're going to bless your socks off.
That's right. Hit that bell, you guys, so you're notified of whenever Lizzie Dow and Kizzy Dow will be on. Okay.
Yeah,
So
we have our little red on today, just walking us into a celebration of Valentine's. So happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And and today we were just going to talk about makeup because we had some interesting conversations about makeup. And the title of today's episode is Makeup or Not, Free to Be Me, Myself, and I love that, Kizzy Doll. You want to start us off, my dear?
yeah, I will listen, everybody. That came from a conversation I was having with someone recently who very boldly told me that I look better without makeup. And why do I wear it? So after I answered it, then I had to kind of sit back and answer it in my own heart. You can answer something from your head, just right from the top of your head, but then you have to soul search and answer from your heart. Well, at first I wasn't like appreciative of it because, well, I wear makeup because I enjoy it and because I believe that it enhances my beauty. But there are folks in my life that have said before, why do you wear makeup? You don't need it. In my head, because I don't look like Alicia Keys. Let's be honest here. Okay. So, am I comfortable in my own skin? So, this whole question came up and I shared it with Lizzie Dow. So, today we wanted to share and talk about, can you be comfortable in your own skin with it or without it? So, after I soul searched, I answered my own question. I'm good with it. I'm good without it. But I like how I feel with it. And I even like how I feel those days when I'm being just natural and like in my mind, the air is blowing through my mind and I'm just free. There's nothing there. I'm good even then. So it's just preference. So we wanted to talk today about, are we are we slaves to our makeup, or is it truly just a choice? And can you be without it? What about you, Lizzie Dow? What's your take on it?
Well, see, this is a very, very deep subject for me. And as we
Mhm.
talked about bringing this episode out, I had to really think about that. Now, for me, it's a little bit different. See, I was raised in a household where at 14 you started to wear makeup. I don't know if it was sort of like your rite of passage or what have you, but um, yeah, my mom was a real stickler about the makeup, and
Mhm.
so I basically grew up wearing makeup every day. So I wouldn't even, and when you say that question about being a slave to makeup, I actually wouldn't go to take the trash out without my makeup on. So I can actually understand what being a slave to makeup really is. But it wasn't, to
For
me, it
real?
absolutely, absolutely. And for me, even when I was married, I would get up early and I put my makeup on. So I understand what that really, what it means to be, when you say be a slave to it. And I think after you've done that for so long, it becomes a habit. And I haven't really thought about it. And that's a good question. How I've been told, that I don't need it. I've been told that, my natural beauty is beautiful. But see, and that's another thing, and why I'm so adamant about what we teach our young girls, what we tell them. Because when you tell the child or a 15-year-old, 14-year-old about makeup, or that they look tired without it, or when you tell them these things, that becomes a part of who they are. Those are the tapes that run through their head.
Yes.
So that's a very valid question when you say, are you a slave to makeup? Now, when you get into society, I've read article after article where women that came into interviews with makeup on, they got the job over women that came in without makeup on,
Mhm. Mhm.
that they were treated differently with makeup on versus makeup being off.
Mhm.
So I think in this society, what is beautiful is so skewed. And the natural, I just got to the point where now I am comfortable. Just a couple of years ago, I was
Mhm.
comfortable for the first time. It was like a new rite of passage, going out without my makeup on. And I felt just fine. And it's so
Wow.
funny, if it's in your mind that you're not beautiful without your makeup on, it's
Mhm.
hard to step outside that door without it. And I forced myself to do it
Mhm.
as a sort of psychotherapy on myself. I forced
Mhm.
myself to
Mhm.
do it. And the funny thing is, nobody noticed. But you have this whole story built up in your head that, that the world is just going to be this totally different place if you step out without your makeup on. But though
Mhm.
that's how important it is to um, give your daughters and give sisters positive affirmations, and to make sure that we build each other up, because those negative tapes, they are very real.
Yes, running in your head constantly. Now, for me, my mother, before she became a nurse, she was in the beauty industry. So I came up watching my mom do her makeup, and I meant I was watching like you would think I was watching surgery. And when I became of age, she started us out on a clear lip gloss, and we could wear mascara. Now, I have long eyelashes. Most people think that I wear false eyelashes. It's just mascara. But she allowed me to wear the mascara so that I could teach myself what was too much, and taught me balance. Then I think that was like at age 14, it was just a little. At 15, it was just a little bit more. And then I remember I just caked a whole bunch of makeup on my face one day. I was trying to do what she did, and she's like, no, that's just too heavy. But she never made us feel like you have to put this makeup on before you go out the door. It was, you know, I think we were just trying to imitate her because she did it every single day. Um, but I used to think that my mother was cute as a button without it. But boy, her look was just really glamorized with it. So this person, I mean, and like I said, this is not the first person that have told me, um, why do you wear makeup? You look good without makeup. But it was the way that she put it. It was the way that she put it. Actually, you look better without makeup. I didn't like that. I didn't like that
But
because, go
I
ahead.
just want to add something to that. Sometimes people offer their opinion when it hasn't been solicited or you haven't asked for their opinion, and I think
Yeah,
that's when it's intrusive.
right. I didn't ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, if she wanted to give me a compliment,
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing.
Right.
But to then add all that extra on there that was unnecessary,
Mm-hmm.
um, I do appreciate now, like I said, what I look like without it. And if it wasn't for another obligation that I have right after this one, I would have washed my whole face so that the world can see I'm very comfortable without it. When I went to cosmetology school, I actually used to get points deducted from my time card because I would come to school without the makeup. So their thing is, I said, well, not everybody wears makeup. They said, but once we see you in it,
Mm.
that's what you have to keep doing. This is the beauty industry. So that's what you have to keep doing. And I
That
thought
was
it
a
was,
good point. That was a good point, though. They're making that point because it's that first impression thing. And when you meet people, you know, who you are is who you present yourself to be at that
mhm,
particular time. And then if you do come in without it, they're like, or they ask, like, what's wrong? Are you
like,
sick? Or
right,
are you,
like
it's
it's not
it's that
professional.
whole thing. But I've always admired women that, you had mentioned Alicia Keys before, that was very, very comfortable. I love that Viola Davis is very, very comfortable without her makeup. She's an amazing, incredible actress
Mhm,
because she
mhm,
allows the world
mhm,
to see exactly, herself getting into those type of
mhm,
roles. So,
mhm,
I
mhm,
think that's just amazing. But I think that, you know, I mean, now I mean, I actually love makeup. I love to wear it. I love, um, playing in it, doing different things with it and such or what have you. But I'm also happy that I overcame that I had to have it every single day. Now I do wear it
mhm,
every day. It's a part of my getting up and getting dressed. But if I need to go out and I, I can do it.
mhm,
I can do it now. And I think again,
mhm,
that's all a part of our growth.
mhm, mhm.
I
So
think.
right, and you
Hmm.
have to ask, like ladies particularly, you have to ask yourself and be honest with yourself. What are you more comfortable with? Is it now? Listen, don't. What is that? Don't push off your feelings onto someone else. If you like makeup and you don't know how to do it, go sit down somewhere in a corner, get some YouTube videos on how to put makeup on and keep practicing your face and what looks good on you. Don't then go tell somebody else, I don't like makeup and people that wear makeup, that's just silly. Don't come on now. Don't do that. Don't do that. And that could have been a part of it that this person doesn't wear makeup. So if you don't do that, fine. I'm not gonna put somebody down because they don't wear makeup and tell them, girl, you look toe up from the flow up. Now, if you just let me make you up one time, you'll be all right. That's not right.
And
That's
it
not
this
right.
that's funny that you said that. I had an experience with a sister girlfriend one time many years ago. She loved my makeup and she asked me to do her face, but her skin was sensitive. So we went in the store and we were in that store for a couple of hours picking out makeup, and she fussing, didn't want this color, didn't want that color. But who's doing this job? Who's doing it? So when we finally got her home, finally did her makeup, she hurt my feelings to the utmost because she looked at herself and said, I look like an adult. I said, you got 3 kids. You got 3 children. I'm like, what you supposed to look like, but she was so used to not having any makeup on. She was like, oh, no, no, no. All I need is some eyeliner. Okay, so what did you call me over here for? Take all this time. But that's just the difference between people that actually, wear it every day and want it, or those that, don't but want to dibble dab into it, is like, okay, either you kind of want it or you kind of don't.
Oh,
But
you
let's
don't.
talk about this too. Some men prefer for women, and I've heard them say this. I've talked to them, and even been in relationship with some of them that said that, you know, they like for the woman to preserve the fantasy. So they love to see. I had a friend of mine, that just loved makeup on women. He was just like, he preferred not to see you without your makeup on. What do you think about that, KizziDoll?
I think that he had a fetish,
Okay.
because if you love somebody, if you love somebody and you really want to be with them, actually, if they have paint on their face or not, nails on or not, you should take them as they are. That preserving the fantasy thing,
Yeah, I've heard it. I've
you
heard a
know,
lot of men.
you know, okay, like I may not, okay, I believe in it to a certain extent. I mean, um, but it's been my experience. I'm so tickled right now. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to.
It's okay. It's okay, because we're totally the opposite when it comes to that. Because I believe in preserving the fantasy too. I mean, that's and that's how I've interacted, or what have you. But I don't know where that came from, but that's just that's a part of who I am as well. I promise you.
But you know what?
I'm
I've been
okay with
very
that.
fortunate in this. It's odd though. It's almost a contradiction, because you meet somebody, they meet you like this,
Right.
but then all of a sudden they're asking you to not be this,
See.
be natural, comfortable. I mean, whatever they call it. Don't be this. And I've heard people say it's because they don't want nobody else to want you and all this. I don't know, but
Insecurities.
insecurities, right? But I have always had gentlemen in my life that it was either way. It was either way. You wear makeup, wow. You don't wear makeup, wow. It, I don't know what that was. And very recently, I was told you're beautiful either way. See, it doesn't matter, because what I see and what I'm vibing with and feeling is that heart in your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
the and enjoy watching what he says is the mastery of putting it on.
That's beautiful. That's
Isn't that
absolutely
amazing?
beautiful. Yeah.
Have sat and watched me do it
Yeah. I
from
think that's
beginning
beautiful.
to end. And while I have powder, highlighter, and all this going on, looking like Bo, those assistants would still tell me
Uh-huh.
you were so beautiful to me.
I think that's
See,
beautiful. I think
that's
that's
what it's all
beautiful,
about.
and I think it's beautiful, and I think it's genuine. Um, and but I also think that everybody has their own negotiations within their relationship.
Yeah,
So I
like
think, yeah, I think that everybody has their own negotiations in their relationship, and I think that, um, like I said, I've been told that I don't need it. That I've men that they like the natural beauty of it, of you, of me, or what have you, and I don't know. I just felt comfortable. And I'm not talking about a full face of makeup. This is full face of makeup. I'm not talking about that. But I'm just talking about, getting up, taking a little shine off and, a little bit of liner or whatever.
mhm,
I mean,
mhm,
and that's just a part of, everybody's morning routine or what have you is different. And that's
mhm.
just a part of mine, even on Saturdays, Sundays, or weekends or whatever. That's just my routine.
Well, I have a confession.
Okay.
Not a confession, but let me say this.
Hmm.
If I had your skin, a brush wouldn't touch it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
A brush, you listen. Look, here's me and the brush. What? But
Well,
in all
thank you, my
honesty,
kizzy doll.
before we get people leaving comments about, because I've said a couple of things about skin.
Hmm.
Listen, guys, we're talking about texture and tone of skin, okay? I'm not talking about melanin.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not on a melanin trip.
Hmm.
I have overcome a really bad skin condition that began as a teenager and erupted in about 2001, a condition that I don't care to discuss right now. We
Hmm.
will in the future, but that I had. I no longer have that. That tore my skin up. It plagued. Our skin is the largest organ that we have. And
Hmm.
so it attacked the organ.
Yes.
And when it did that, it almost disfigured me
Hmm.
to the point where I could go in grocery stores and just say hi, wait, hi, and people were running the other way, or folks wouldn't sit next to me at the lunch counters and tables because I realize people are afraid of what they don't know, but that was
Yes.
just truly ignorant, especially when I'm telling you this is not contagious. This is as a result of such and such and such.
Hmm.
I didn't know that my skin would ever
Hmm.
be normal again.
Hmm.
And one day I am going to come on here completely no makeup so that
Hmm.
you can see what God has done.
Hmm.
That's why now
Hmm.
I'm comfortable in my skin. But
Hmm.
we all have our, where you want to look best. And I'm telling you, when I come on here and we do these shows, LizzyDoll and I want to look my best. I want to feel my best. I want to be on it.
Right.
Okay. So I wear a little bit of makeup, but I'm gonna come on here without any makeup,
Hmm.
and I'm still gonna be fly.
That is wonderful, and the confidence is just amazing. When we can come to, and all of us, we have our own journey, and so we all hit little milestones at a time. That's why we say let's celebrate. We celebrate little milestones and what have you. I'm not promising that I'm coming without my makeup. I'm not promising that, but we never know as we continue to work through issues. Hopefully, our shows are helping you to work through some issues as well, because for um it just everybody has their own journey, and everybody
Mhm,
has their own, I guess the thing I could say is achievements of different things
mhm,
that they want to overcome, that they want to
mhm,
conquer,
mhm,
and being confident in your skin is one of those.
mhm.
We said to be free, or free to be me, myself, and I guess we also determine what that is. What is
Right.
me, myself, and I? What is that?
So listen, let me tell y'all. Me, myself, and I is I'm free to be me in makeup, fly and fabulous if I want to be. I'm free to be myself. Myself explores different things. I may want a different look altogether. I may want different hair, different nails. I may want nothing at all. How about I might want to be absolutely Black Panther bald, and I'm absolutely free to be I. And I is exactly how the Creator created me, absolutely Nubian, with nothing but the face he gave me. I'm good because I'm free to be me, myself, and I. And so are you.
Absolutely. And I say this often. I say that, God created each one of us so uniquely different that he gave each one of us our own, particular fingerprint. He gave us, each one of us, our own, cellular makeup. So we're all so uniquely designed. And, the thing that I always stress is, love on your sister.
Yes.
Sisterhood is such a fantastic and fabulous thing when we can get over our issues and, and just come to grips with who we really are. Being free to be me, myself, and I, and being free to embrace my sister of all colors, of all races, of all
Yes.
nationalities, being able to just embrace one another
Yes.
and look at you for your beauty that you have, because he made us all beautiful. We're all flowers. We're beautiful flowers in his garden. So I just, we just wanted to pop in quickly today and just, give you a word of encouragement to be who you are and to walk in that. And as you continue to discover your purpose, one thing that I'm doing right now, I am reading my way through Finding Your Moment of Clarity by Mr. Michael Bart Matthews. And I bring that up now because that's one of the books that I'm actually reading. The other book that I'm reading is, because we have to continue to feed ourselves. And I do have it here, and I write in my books, and I bring it up because it's a wonderful read. And so I'm looking through that book because it's talking about, it's talking about walking and finding your purpose and finding who you are. And I think that sometimes we have to just shut everything down and just, get quiet, get in our quiet space and really see who we are. And in that space, without makeup on, without any, masquerade of any kind, without any of that, but just being, who you are, you know what I'm saying? And one of the things that he had mentioned in the book was being introducing your new self to your old self, because you're saying goodbye to your old self and you are introducing yourself in the mirror to the new self. So that tells me I can be free to be who I need to be, who I want to be. And another thing that over this week, one of the things that I learned too was that, and it wasn't from the book, but it was, from another source, was that, we, uh, I'm gonna come back to that thought because it just ran right on out of my head. I was thinking, I can't remember what it was, but it was a great, great, great thought. But I'm gonna go here. I'm a rebound myself. The other book that I'm reading, and it's gonna come back because it was so good. It was right there, just good, good,
It's
good
okay.
nugget.
It's
A
okay.
Jewel in His Crown is another book, and as you all know, I'm an avid reader. I love books because you learn so much, and the one thing that I love about reading and love about books is that it's in your own words. So when you talk about when Priscilla Evans Shire, when she talks about being a jewel in his crown and rediscovering your value as a woman of excellence, it's beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. But when you start reading these books and you start pouring into yourself, it starts to erase the old tapes. And that's what I was wanted to talk about. Those old tapes that I was talking about, the negative, when you allow people to speak negativity into your children's lives, or your parents allow them to speak into your lives, those negative tapes stay in your mind. It stays in your brain. And as we grow up, we're like, why did I need to have makeup on to go to the trash can? Why did I feel like I just
Oh,
couldn't walk from
wow.
the door to the trash can? It was some things that was told to me when I was young. And so I believed those things. I bought into those things. And so, that was one of the things that I protected my children of. I wouldn't allow people to talk negative to them, about them, or around them. Yeah, I took some flack from my family about that, but I was adamant about it. And I'm happy to report now my children are very confident. And my daughters, they're not slaves to makeup. I never pushed that or forced that onto them. When they make up, it's of their own choice, of their own will, but they are so comfortable. And I'd say that point because they're comfortable in their skin. I told them all the time that they were beautiful as they were little, beautiful, chased them around, kissed them, and pulled their cheeks and all of that. And so when they grew up, they're confident in, making up every day. They think there's something wrong with me, even though they saw me do it, but I never forced it on them. And I told them they were beautiful. And, so we just have to be really careful the words that we speak into other people's lives and over them.
Absolutely.
We have to be very, very careful, and we have to be careful and guard our ears and guard our eyes and guard our minds, because our mind we're constantly developing. Neurons are constantly being generated, and so we have to feel it. Because if you don't feel it and don't work the mind is a muscle. So it's a muscle. So you have to continuously work that muscle. And then the thing that I had forgotten, what it came back to me was that sometimes we try to hold ourselves as ladies or women, we try to hold ourselves accountable for knowing it all and being perfect at everything. And that's what was told to me earlier this week. Stop being so hard on yourself. You don't have to be perfect in every area. That's why we need each other. We were designed to need one another. And because we need one another, and because we don't have it all together and we're not always perfect, when we do find our circle and our community, we can stand tall and stand strong together because, hey, she got the mathematical skills and that's not my forte. She got the writing skills. Okay, that's my forte. She got the, and do you have the perfect community because that's how it was designed. Somewhere along the way, we were told that we have to be perfect and we don't.
You know what? Can I say one thing, Lizzy Doll?
Yes, ma'am.
Just being transparent here, that what you just said, unbeknownst to myself, because I didn't know, I was too young to know that type of perfection, that stress or pressure of that perfection
Mm-hmm.
caused me to have a nervous breakdown at the age of
Mm,
19,
mm,
to the point where I could not even pick up a book and read the simplest sentence:
mm-hmm,
Jane ran down the street.
mm-hmm,
Every I had a complete breakdown
mm-hmm,
because I uh, there was so much pressure in my head to be perfect,
mm-hmm,
not even for myself, but
mm-hmm.
for everyone else that kept telling me who I was rather than me knowing who I was myself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There's a movie with Sanaa Lathan. I pronounced her
Tonight,
name wrong.
tonight,
Sa-
Lathan.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and it's called Nappily Ever After.
Oh,
And
I've seen.
it was that same pressure.
Oh,
I felt that pressure. So that's what I'm saying, it goes into your adult life. And
mhm,
I love the movie because she had this, she slept perfect. She woke up, and I was able to identify with her. Man, you all think the first book that comes out, which is this Smoothie Time, you think that's gonna be something. You wait till I unroll the rest of these stories that are coming out. Man, it's gonna blow your socks off and blow your socks off. KizziDoll is a writer, you all, and I'm throwing her out there too because she's writing and her books will be out very, very shortly. She's getting it all together. So we're gonna blow your socks off with some stories and some
with
things
the
and
story. Yes.
unfolding some things because really the bottom line is that when you share from your heart and you help somebody, even if it's just one person to identify with you, like I identified with that story, and if you can help that one person, then
Mhm.
all the pain that you suffered is not in vain. And so then we help somebody else and we help somebody else. That's what we're here for. I was reading it in this book and like I said, it's so incredible, but I just want to share this with you because it just slapped me upside the head. Again, this is Finding Your Moment of Clarity by Mr. Michael Bart Matthews. And it says the prime purpose in this life is to help others. And if you can't help them, at least at least don't hurt them. And that was a quote from the Dalai
Mhm.
Lama.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it was just so that's what I mean about reading. And when I read my books, I highlight in my books. So sorry, I don't lend my books. I might buy you one if you ask, but I'm not gonna lend my books because they become so personal to me. My notes are in there. Then you're able to go back and you're able to discover how much growth you've obtained from one book to the other book. So that's why we come and we share. We're just doing a walking in her shoes because hey, sometimes walking in them stilettos can be a challenging journey.
You know, um, the thing of it is that, listen, um, I, I'm sorry, you guys. I
Mhm.
can't help the way things download to me. I just saw a young lady that will be watching. She looks just like me.
Hmm.
So now it's time for you to shut out the noise,
Mm-hmm.
for you to slow down at trying to catch up with everybody else, because there is something special enough about you that someone else needs. So it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. Actually, there's a whole bunch right with you.
Mm-hmm.
You are loved, you are fantastic, and you have been marvelously made. So we always tell people to check out yourself, be good to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But today, be good to somebody else,
Mm-hmm.
and not somebody that you know.
Mm-hmm.
Give someone else a compliment that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Give someone else from your heart what your heart needs. Be kind because you want someone to be kind to you. Guess what? What you put out comes back to you.
Oh,
And
yes.
I tell people every day, love comes to me.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, because that's what I'm putting out as love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting out love. It may
Absolutely.
be in different forms,
Mm-hmm.
it might be on different levels, but I'm putting out love and acceptance. And I get that right back. So not only be good to yourself and be true to yourself, let's stretch a little bit. Let's stretch a little bit. Be good and kind to someone else that you don't know. It's
Mm.
easy to be kind to somebody you do know. Try somebody that you don't know because the reward is bigger than you think.
That is awesome, Kizzy Doll. And as always, we get into our conversations and the time just goes by quick, quick, quick. So it's
Oh,
time for us.
no.
It's time for us to part. But in parting, we just want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And we definitely will be back with you with more and more content. So
Absolutely.
bye for
Bye bye.
now.
Bless